Searle goes to open the pigeon cages and has them scatter to distract the rats. He grabs Batty and escapes by clinging to a large pigeon. However, the pigeon can't carry both of them and crashes to the ground. At that moment, Searle appears very upset. He's starving and can't find any food. Suddenly, Searle becomes overjoyed when he realizes he has landed next to a nut shop. Excited, he tries sneaking into the store from different spots, but fails each time and even gets electrocuted. Luckily, Batty sees a taxi stop in front of the store and sneaks in along with two men who are entering. At that point, we discover that the people inside the shop are actually the gang planning to rob the bank. They welcome their leader, who has just been released from prison. Meanwhile, Batty returns to Searle, signals to him, and they sneak in through the top of the door. But they are shocked to find the place filled with traps. The gang leader is impressed with the location because it's very close to the bank they plan to rob. Suddenly, one of the traps snaps shut on Searle's tail, and he screams in pain. The dog Precious sees him and starts barking. One of the gang members uses a dog whistle to quiet her, but the sound irritates the gang leader's assistant. Searle notices everything happening. Then, the gang heads down to the basement to start digging. Meanwhile, back in the park, the animals decide to send Andy and Grayson on a mission to the city to search for food. As they cross the street, Andy seems annoyed by Grayson's presence. Suddenly, a rat attacks them and steals Andy's bag. Grayson chases after the rat, gets into a scuffle, and ends up hanging onto a train. He manages to retrieve the bag and tosses it to Andy, but unfortunately, the two get separated. The next day, we see Searle and Batty after they've eaten all the cheese from the traps. Searle collapses to the ground, and Precious picks up his scent and starts looking for him. He hides inside a cashew machine. As Precious continues barking, one of the gang members uses the whistle again. This time, the gang leader's assistant gets annoyed and throws the whistle away. Precious then finds Searle, breaks the machine, and both of them get burned and thrown out of the store. Batty runs after Searle, and the two escape quickly. After what happened, Searle decides to search for the whistle and eventually finds it. But he drops it. Andy picks it up, and Searle is surprised to see her. He asks her to return the whistle, but she refuses. From his behavior, she realizes he found food and that the whistle has something to do with it. While they're talking, Searle notices the gang leader entering the store and leaving the door open. He and Batty quickly sneak in. They find a massive stash of nuts in the basement and are overwhelmed by the sight. They go down the stairs, amazed at the amount of food. Suddenly, they hear the gang members coming out of the tunnel they're digging, so Searle and Batty hide. They see the gang has created a hole that connects to the side street to remove the debris. Unfortunately, Precious enters the basement, spots Searle and Batty, and chases after them. They use the lift to escape through the hole, but Searle can't make it out in time. Just as Precious is about to catch him, Andy shows up and demands that he give her some of the basement food in exchange for the whistle. Since Searle wants the whistle, he agrees to give her half the stash. He takes the whistle and uses it to scare Precious. She becomes terrified by the sound and promises to do whatever Searle wants. When Andy enters the basement, she's stunned by the amount of nuts there. As Batty explores the place, he throws one of the explosives near the wall. Andy tells Searle that Raccoon and the other animals will be thrilled by all this food. She rushes off to tell them. That night, Andy returns to the animals and tells them she found a huge food stash, enough for everyone. She explains that they need to cooperate with Searle to be able to steal the food. At that moment, Raccoon steps in and tells her that the beavers will join her to dig a tunnel and retrieve the stash. Then, Raccoon's assistant, Mole, shows up and explains to everyone that they'll bring Searle along, but once they get the food, they'll abandon him and give him nothing. The next day, we see Andy, Mole, and the beavers arriving at the store. Suddenly, Searle appears and figures out where they plan to dig. He tells them they can't use the main door because it's usually locked. After a while, the beavers manage to dig a large hole, but the wall is slowing them down. Then, Precious exits the basement, and Searle goes to her. He's surprised the door is open, and quickly shuts it before anyone notices.